I did not film the other side because it was kind of hard to film that other side. But over here, I've got the scaffolding so I can set the camera here and kind of catch that. But the other side was just you get that first course on, if that's what you call it, the first board that establishes the edge of the roof line. And then from there, you just kind of work up. So it's much easier once you get that first board in there. And from that edge of the board to the plumb cut on the rafter is 1 inch. That's what I did at least. And then my metal will hang off 2 inches. So that gives a good amount of clearance for water dripping over the edge. That's if you don't want to put gutters. I think I'm going to put some sort of gutters on this building. Yeah. Probably going to do some sort of wooden gutters or half-round galvanized gutters, or I've even thought to use bamboo to make some gutters, but I think the bamboo would just look silly with the building, and that if I do that idea, I'll do it on something else. So I think probably those half-rounds or either some wooden gutters that I make myself would be pretty neat. You'll have to forgive any wind noise, but I want to do a quick update showing the roof. Gap on either side of the ridge in case I end up doing some sort of ventilation in the ceiling. The overhangs on the ends were cut with the track saw, so that's like a laser beam straight cut. Everything else I did with the chalk lines and circular saw. So all this decking is 1 inch. Widths of board varied from 8 inches to about 11 inches. And so each run is the same same width. So on some of the boards where I didn't end up having the right amount of boards, it was only right here up at the top though, I ripped some boards just to kind of make things work out right. What else to tell you? I think that's pretty much it. I ran screws around the overhangs to make sure that it was held super tight down at the overhangs, just for any kind of visual purposes, and then ring shank nailed everything else. I could have just done nails everywhere else, but just the way I did it. There's the intersection between the two angles of the roofs. But if you can imagine that metal, when it runs straight and comes up to hit, it'll hit up close, and then that ridge cap covers up that seam, like you can see down there. You can also see my slight misalignment of my buildings. So go ahead and start getting the paper down. I'm using reclaimed metal, as most of you know, on the roof. A lot of it is kind of rough. It's getting rougher the further I get into the project because I keep picking the best stuff. And so you can see the end there. Wonky. So this end will be the end I cut off. So this will be the start of my measure. I need to measure 111 inches, and that's for the new part that I'm working on. So this roughest side will get cut off. That's how I kind of evaluate it. And in the case of this sheet, it's kind of mangled up in this area. You can see it all mangled up on the bottom. So I'm going to kind of get this straightened out. I straighten out some of the V's on the edges, and for that I'm using these tools here. This is a hand seamer from Harbor Freight, inexpensive. I have 2 of them. It's always missing one. A piece of angle iron that I use sort of as a form if I need it, and then a hammer. But mainly I'm just using these 2 pieces and angle grinder to cut its length. And that's where it's at afterwards. So again, this will be, once it's on the roof, this further gets pulled out straight, and then of course this will get overlapped. So you just kind of put it down where it's the most advantageous for you once you're on the roof. But that went from mangled, wouldn't have been usable, to flattening it out, and that took me like a minute or 2. Now of course it's a lot of sheets on the roof. You had to do this for every single one. It'd be a pain, but I think each one of these sheets, so you have to buy a 10-foot piece to get this piece cut out of it. And I think it's like 50 something a sheet, 50, 60 something a sheet. I'm not sure what it is at this very second. But you're looking at, probably by the time I'm done with this whole roof, it'd be $10,000 worth of metal on it if I bought it all retail, is my guess. Something around there, 8 to 10. Here's a before shot of another piece. And that's after a few minutes of working on it. All the metal is on. The last little bit was a 7-inch piece, and I put a 1-inch break on it, so it just goes out 2 inches past the decking, and then there's a 1-inch sort of about a 45-degree angle to finish it off. So fairly clean. So now I need to get the ridge cap on. So that's what the ridge cap looks like. There's a piece right there. I just run it across and I give it a good overlap. Then when I get to the end, I'll trim it. Just wrapped up getting that ridge cap across the building. And so that not only completes the roof over the new part, but the entire main structure of the building. There will be the lean-tos that come off, so those will have additional roofing. But as far as the main structure, the building's not going to get any longer. From here, it will have lean-tos that stick off. So it's going to kind of, it's got the steep angle, and then the lean-tos coming off. So it's going to get kind of sprawling at this point. But that's the main structure that the lean-tos will hang on. So let me take you out into the middle of the field, and we'll look back at the building from the other direction. Here we are from way off. Of course, it doesn't look this tiny in real life. Looks more like that. There it is, a little closer. I know it's grainy, it's getting dark, and I'm zoomed in. But I like how much getting the roof panels up make the whole thing look like one building. It doesn't look like the part that did exist and then the new part. It all looks like one building now. And it'll get even more so once I start putting in all the windows and the siding and kind of closer I get to being finished.